Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Mama Genius Panure Podcast. Oh, do we have something in store for you? Now, listen, if this is you, you've been thinking everything for everyone: mom, partner, business owner, friend. You've ticked off the tasks, the meeting deadlines, and even keep the wheels turning. But inside, you're numb. Something along the way, your dreams got quieter. Your desires start to feel selfish. And your voice, that one that was bold and full of vision, has faded into a deep whisper. You're asking the question in the quiet moments, is this all? What happened to women I used to be? You want to feel whole again. You want to remember who you are beyond the roles and routines. And that's exactly why we have Isabel here today. She's walked the path and she guides women to themselves, to their truth, to their dreams, and their voice. If you've ever felt like your dreams are on mute, this is the episode for you. Isabel, and we'll be diving right into that. Mamas, welcome to the Mama Genius Panure Podcast, where real stories spark real transformations for moms ready to bring their vision to life. I'm Michelle DeKaiser, a mom of three, entrepreneur, and your biggest cheerleader if you've ever felt pulled to create something bigger, whether it's a business, a book, or a movement, but also felt the weight of daily life slowing you down. You are not alone. In just 15 minutes, we'll dive into insights, strategies, and real stories for women like you. Let's bring your visions to life, starting now. Now, Isabel is the reason why we can dive into this problem. She is a certified life and spiritual coach, international speaker, and founder of Loud Whisper. And now Loud Whisper Reignites Your Voice podcast. With backgrounds in business and strategies of 20 years of entrepreneurial experience, Isabella helps high-achieving women move their burnout and disconnection to wholeness and clarity. Her work blends with soul-aligned leadership with practical transformation, guiding clients through the process of remembering who they are beneath the roles they've played. We all feel that sometimes, don't we? Whether it's through coaching, workshops, or speaking, Isabel empowers women to stop the silence themselves and start living the truth. Welcome to the stage, Isabel.
Hi.
We've had the honor of meeting in person. We've like hugged. I feel her passion, her spirit as part of one of our workshops, and I'm just so excited to bring you on today, Isabel.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor. Thank you for creating this space, and thank you for having me here. I'm really honored to be here with you at this moment, in this present moment. Yeah,
me too. Let's just dive straight into it. Tell us a little bit about your whisper, about what happened for you, and then we can dive into some ways to help others out here.
Sure. So it's a little bit of a long story, so I'm just going to jump right through it because we don't have a long time, but people will understand what I'm saying. So my whisper happened to, I'm originally from Tanzania and Zambia, East Africa, right? I grew up amongst very courageous, resilient, powerful women. These women were strong, working every day, willpower, did whatever they did to make sure they took care of their families, from professional women, from business owners, from entrepreneurs, even the women who had tomatoes on their head walking to the market. As I watched them silently as a little girl, to me, in my eyes, they were entrepreneurs. They just never owned a Rockefeller building. Yeah. So fast forward, I go to school. I moved here to the United States. I came for college. I found myself in a peculiar situation, got pregnant. I became pregnant at a very young age. And 8,000 and something miles away from home, I'm about to be a mother who needed her own mother then. Okay. I had to grow up, and I had to grow up really fast. So what I didn't know then is what I know now. What I figured out years later is that survival instinct kicked in. I was like, okay, I got this. I'll be able to take care of this child. I'll do whatever it takes to take care of my son. So as life was going through, I'm a single mom taking care of my child. I got married, had two other children, my husband and I, in business. But what I found myself is that many nights, what I was noticing is as years were going by, year by year, time by time, I found myself many nights gazing in the ceiling at 3 o'clock in the morning, asking myself, is there more to my life than this? And as I continued doing that, I found myself in this situation, right? More times than I really wanted to be. I started realizing that, number one, I didn't have a voice. I neglected myself. You know, I tell people I had evicted myself from my own life story. I felt like an actor in my own life, as though somebody just gave me a script and I'm acting out. And what was worse about that was I was not even the main actor. I was the supporting actress in my life, and everything just started to unravel. My heart was always heavy. I was never happy, right? But I had mastered wearing this mask of going out there in the world. From the outside looking in, I tell you, Michelle, everybody would have said, I wish I could be like Isabel. She has the perfect life. Not that my life was not good, but let me tell you what, I was not in it. I was performing. But as time went by and I really started to dig deep and really excavate and see what was happening in my own life, because I went through a depression, just went through a lot of traumatic experiences, and just within myself, my soul was heavy. I came to realize one thing. I became that of which that I saw growing up. Strong, resilient, courageous, have willpower, but I didn't have a voice. I knew those women were not happy, but I didn't realize that they did not have a voice. And guess what? Isabel didn't have a voice. And that's when I really started like really doing in my work. And I tell people this all the time. You know, when you first start a business, most people, what do? You take a pen, paper, and you start writing out, thinking about all these different names of what you're going to name your business. I never had to do that. I remember just time and time again, I've always had this vision of me standing in front of a stage speaking to millions of women, millions. And what I realized is that one time a girlfriend told me, she said, Isabel, you lived through so many life experiences that you understand pain. I'm an empath and I can feel and understand people to my core. So anyway, as time went by, I woke up one morning and this Holy Spirit was like loud whisper. I was like, loud whisper. I didn't know what that was about. I said, okay, loud whisper. So I kept on saying loud whisper. And then it hit me one day. That's because women are always screaming for help on the inside, but
That
no one
internal
hears them because it comes out as a whisper. So my goal, my calling, I tell people it's not a career for me. This is a calling. I'm convicted about this, to really create impact and to empower women to amplify their voices. Your voice is the truth of who you are. It is your intuition. It is your GPS. It is the map to your life. Your voice speaks truth. I always tell people, my loud whisper is where God speaks the loudest to me. The thing that we call the intuition, that's that loud whisper. So it's about me empowering women to amplify that voice, to trust more of that voice. That will help you know who you are, right? Because the most important knowledge that we need to know in this world is the knowledge of self. So that's where.
Oh, I love that so much. And those of you listening, I mean, how many of you felt that whisper or just that paralyzed feeling of not being able to share your hearts, your desires, and any of that? And we're going to be back in just a moment. Isabel's going to go through to break down a little bit for us. How can we start to amplify that? We'll be back in just a moment. Are you a mompreneur who feels a fire to create something bigger, a business, a movement, a message, but you don't want to do it alone? That's why I've created the Mama Genius Hub, a space where your vision is nurtured, your voice is heard, and your dreams grow alongside a supportive community. Inside the hub, you'll get bite-sized insights and strategies in 15-minute sessions. A community of like-minded moms who truly get it. Support to bring your vision to life without burnout. If ready to build your business and impact while staying true to yourself, join us today at connectingmamas.com. Your calling matters. Let's grow it together. Let's just dive right into it. So that mom that feels that voice that is not amplified, that feels like she can't speak up, where does she start?
It starts within. She starts with herself. Yeah. And I know it's foreign for a lot of us women. You're like, oh my God, start with myself. We don't know about anything when it comes to ourselves. You know, we know how to do everything outside of ourselves.
And for everyone else.
And for everyone else, which is outside of ourselves, right? But you have to think about this. First of all, give yourself grace, right? You did not know what you didn't know. And that's where we're starting from. Let me tell you, from the time you're a little girl, we've been conditioned to think that the only way to receive love or validation is through serving other people. is through serving other people. Okay. I say one thing that frustrates me the most is that society measures the strength of a woman by how much weight she can carry. And yet they measure strength of a man by they measure strength of a man by how much weight he can carry. And yet they measure strength of a woman by how much pain she can endure. So the more pain you endure, the more they call you strong. And that goes with the cycle. First thing I want you to do is get self-aware. And what does that look like? Take a pen and paper, write down. No matter where you are in your life, good, bad, or indifferent, we all have different seasons in our life where things are amazing. Sometimes they're not amazing, or things are just really bad. Today is the day that I want to empower you. Get that pen and paper and write down where you're at in life. What is happening in your life? And then on the next page, draw a line in between. Okay. I need you to start knowing your values. What matters to you? Write down your values. What is it that matters to you? What do you want in life? What are your desires? But we have to first start by being self-aware. Self-awareness is really hard because that means we're acknowledging either, for me, I had to acknowledge, first of all, I'm depressed. I'm a people pleaser. I'm acting like a victim.
Yep.
Right? So it's really coming to the knowing of you. Like you have to go through that process. But it's so freeing when you do that. Once you start becoming aware with that, take the time to be still. Find time for stillness and connect with your intuition, because you really have to be connected to your intuition before you start moving through the process. The whole goal is for you to know who you are to the core of your being. So we want to first start by being self-aware. Once you start being self-aware, you connect to your intuition, right? And that requires you to be still, to listen to that still voice inside of you. What is it saying? What do you want? What do you need? What is it that no longer serves you? Then from there, we move to intention, right? What are you intending to do with all this information? What are you intending to do with your life? Take small steps. When you move from intention, we go into action, which breeds into transformation. This is a whole process. I tell people there's no destination. The only destination any human ever arrives to is 6 feet underground. Everything in life else is a journey.
Yes.
Take it as a journey. So there's some days where you're going to feel like you're 10 steps ahead. There's some days you're going to feel like
I don't know if we lost you or me. So
it was you. It was you. That to do that. Become self-aware. Get time for stillness to connect with your intuition, right? What do you intend to do after that? Then from there, it's action. The whole goal that you want to do in life right now is get to know who you are to the core of your being. Because if you don't get to know who you are, the world is going to tell you who you should be.
And that's when we get those layers and we talk about what the realization of the depression and,
Yes.
the people pleasing
Yes.
and all of that comes in because we let that happen until we become aware of what has happened. And then what do we want and bridge that gap?
Yeah.
Which Isabel has so brilliantly showed us some of the steps to do that. And so we're going to throw Isabel, well, before we throw you backstage for some takeaways, tell us how people can get a hold of you.
Oh, thank you so much, Michelle. Listen, you can get a hold of me on all social platforms. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram by my first and last name. I'm on Facebook. Most importantly, get on my website. So what I do is a newsletter, which it has a lot of encouragement. I have different classes. Right now, I'm running a free masterclass. It's a 4-week series masterclass once a week. You can be a part of that. It's all about community. So get on my website, put your information in, and I will love for you to be part of the community.
So we're gonna put Isabel backstage for a couple takeaways right now because we got a lot today to bring in. And remember, it's all about just how do we amplify our voice? If you're feeling that whisper and you're not sure how to do it, she tells us the first step is starting within, starting with that self-awareness, empowering who you are, looking at where you are in life, what's happening. Take that piece of paper and start with where you're at, and then move over to what are your values, what matters to you, what are your desires. And let me be honest with you, when we talk about our desires, sometimes it's hard to even think like, I don't even want to say it. So start with telling yourself what they are. You don't need to tell anyone else yet. Start with just acknowledging them to yourself. And that takes a takeaway number 2 is then finding the time of stillness. Once you have that awareness on the paper, start listening to, connecting to your intuition. Remember, we have 4 inner voices, which we didn't say, but I'm going to throw this out there right now, is we have the inner child, the inner critic, and the inner ego. And those 3 can conflict. And those are things that get in the way when we're not aware and giving ourselves stillness to actually listen to our own intuition. And then that takes us to takeaway number 3, which is really that intention now. Now that you have this information, now that you're in stillness a bit, you're able to take action steps that actually lead you through, again, your journey, not your destination. Remember, destination's only 6 feet under, but that journey of uncovering who you are and ultimately just living in more joy and freedom to be who you are. I'm bringing Isabel back for her final takeaway. All yours. What is your final takeaway for us, Isabel?
Oh, my final takeaway for the audience.
Yes.
Listen, I say this from my heart, and I really say this deep, deep, deep from my heart to every woman out there listening to this podcast today. You deserve joy. You deserve happiness. You deserve peace. And if anybody has never told you, you are enough just as you are. So I really want to empower you to understand this. Even if you find yourself in a situation that you are not comfortable with, we've all been through it. Get up. Take one step. It doesn't have to be a huge step, but everything you need, you have inside of you. Everything you need, you have inside of you. So get up, sis. You are enough. You have a purpose. You're here for a reason. Don't let the world rob you of that. Don't let your pain rob you of living your life. You deserve it all. And we're here to celebrate you. Thank you, Michelle.
I love that so much. And I just want to say is when you start to listen to that intuition more, all the pain and the stuff starts unmasking itself. And it's really just about listening to that intuition inside of you that is that key. And so on that note, we're going to leave you with go out and connect with your intuition more, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate it.
That's a wrap for today's episode, Mama. I hope you found something in these 15 minutes that sparked action towards your dreams. Remember, your purpose matters, your dreams are valid, and you are not alone. If today's conversation spoke to you, come join us at the Mama Genius Hub, where you'll find support, strategy, and sisterhood to turn your calling into real impact. Let's grow this together at connectingmamas.com. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. If this resonates with you, share it with another mom here who needs to hear this. We'll see you next time.